Hello and welcome everyone to the Marr Show, and welcome to my 3rd year anniversary of my top 10 games of E3 for whatever year this is gonna be. 2017? Yeah, 2017. E3 is an exciting time to be a gamer, because this gives a chance for many big game companies and development teams to showcase the games that they're working on and plan on releasing to continue to challenge us gamers, inspire us, explore vast new worlds, and just have fun. I think that's the most important thing, is just having fun with games. But you know, the idea of challenging us and exploring new worlds is a big one as well, because gaming, unlike most media stuff, whether it be books, movies, or music, it allows you to actually walk on the land of the new gaming environment and exploring these new worlds, making new friends, and just having fun all around. But you know, this E3 wasn't, I mean, it was good, but I didn't think it was as exciting compared to the last few years. There wasn't as many big surprises as the last few years was, aside from one particular game that everyone is talking about, and even I can hear the distant call of my friend Serge screaming, finally saying, "Yes! Yes, hurrah, it's released!" Sorry, Serge, but regardless, Metroid Prime 4 aside, actually, I'm surprised that's actually being made. I'm just kind of surprised about that fact. But aside from MP4, E3 was a good year, and it was also happy for me because two of the games that I've mentioned in my last two lists, and the games I'm really excited to play, finally have release dates. Yeah, I'm fine with delaying games and all, you know, to make it better, but, you know, it's just, I'll get to it when I talk about a certain game. So this is my 3rd year of talking about the 10 games from E3 that I am very excited to play, the games that I am very excited to actually get to play and explore that world, making new friends, and just having fun with franchises that I know love. And much like the last 2 years, as always, I'm gonna just keep it to 5 Nintendo games, and then consider 5 other games from like Sony, Bethesda, Microsoft, to, you know, bounce the list off, because if you haven't figured out I'm a Nintendo fanboy, you know why. Hey, at least I admit I'm a fanboy. And again, this is just my personal opinion. Gaming is such a vast, just an open genre of different types of games to play, whether it be shooters, platformers, and etc. So what type of genres interest me may not interest you, and the game genres that interest you may not interest me. So just respect the list, and if you want to share the games that you were excited or hyped about that was revealed at this year's E3, feel free to comment, because I like to get a discussion going about just games that we're excited to play and all that jazz. So with that in mind, let's begin! Woohoo!
Number 10!
Number 10 is one game that actually kind of surprised me during one of the Sony live streams. Before the press conference started, they did like a whole pre-show, and one of the games I actually talked about was Undertale, which is finally coming to consoles. And granted, I put this game kind of low on the list because I technically have it. I have it on my PC, but I don't really play a whole lot because, for one, whenever I use my computer, I use it just to make my videos, go and see funny crap on YouTube and etc. And really, I don't like to put games, because if I'm working hard on a certain video project, it'll just distract me from actually getting the video done, because there's games just all over the place. I sort of have this problem like Caddy had when he mentioned it in one of his top 10 videos, but rest assured that I know that Undertale's a good game. I may not be a huge fan of it compared to a lot of other people, but I love the multiple endings, even though there's like 25, I think. There's a lot of endings, and it's just so open-ended to unlimited possibilities of playthroughs, because if you play through the game once, and if you go back to it, you'll get an entirely different experience with different outcomes, dialogue, and etc. Not to mention, I love the music. Toby Fox did a fantastic job with all the musical compositions. A lot of them I have used in my videos, but again, not a huge fan of Undertale, and I haven't really played a whole lot of it because the first hour is really slow in my opinion. But to see it come to consoles, it made me excited, and it's funny too, because I was showing my friend Brandon the whole Undertale commercial, and they announced the whole collector's set with the whole music box, and he's he's probably gonna end up having to scout one from somebody so he can have that musical locket, which I mean it does look cool. But I am excited to see that Undertale is being released on consoles. I was kind of disappointed that it's not released on like all the other platforms, like especially for Nintendo console. But you know what? As long as it's released on a different platform aside from only being a PC exclusive, that's fine by me. So I'm very happy. And it's also coming out for PS Vita as well because I recently got a Vita, so I might end up picking up the Vita version so I could like take it on the go. But I'll end up probably getting a PS4 version as well because I want to try play more of it because I'm not, you know, a huge fan of playing games on the computer, but still, the ideal of Undertale on consoles, beautiful.
Number 9.
Heavy Rain is a very different game from all the other type of games I played over the years. It's a very cinematic game with a lot of quick time events, but it also has a very interesting story with very interesting and very relatable characters, and it's fun trying to figure out all the different endings and outcomes that happens with all the characters and such, and I really like it. Now granted, I haven't really played like the other two games like Beyond Two Souls or Fahrenheit, but they didn't really interest me as much, and Detroit Becoming Human is the next game to be released by the development team of Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit, and Beyond Two Souls. Now I mentioned this game on my last year's E3 list, and I still stand by that I'm very excited to play this game. The ideal of human android like robots trying to take over to have their own free will and stuff has been done before, but however, even though an idea has been done to death or something, as long as you make something new and interesting of it, that's perfectly fine. And with this being a game, this allows for different outcomes, different scenarios and endings, and I like that. Now, this game will probably end up being released next year, but I don't care because it looks very interesting, it has a very gripping storyline, and it just looks like a whole lot of fun. So I'm very excited. I don't really have much to say because, well, I don't do well with serious topics, but I say that this game will definitely deliver and will probably be even better than Heavy Rain probably. I probably doubt it, but still it'll be up there with Heavy Rain as a very deep, complex, cinematic game, and I'm just really hoping that it comes out next year because, well, it looks beautiful and stunning and all of that jazz. I really got nothing to say here. I really don't. I try my best trying to think of something to say for this game, but I'm just excited for Detroit Becoming Human.
Number 8.
I'm not a huge fan of the Metroid games. I mean, like, I don't hate them, but I'm not really a huge fan compared to a whole lot of other people. But I get why people love the games, the exploration, and just the whole Metroidness of just having to do backtracking and exploring these different worlds and so forth. It's a lot of fun, and people love Samus as being like one of the first, well, I don't know if she's like considered the very first, but one of the first prominent female figures in video game history. And with the announcement of Metroid Prime 4, a lot of people anticipated it, but I'm not going to put that game on this list because we don't know anything about the game. All we know is that it's in development, and I say maybe till next year before we see actual gameplay or even it being released next year. However, they did showcase another Metroid game, Metroid Samus Returns, which is a reimagining of Metroid 2 on the original Game Boy. And so far, it looks good. It's coming out this September, and honestly, I actually do like the 2D platformers. We don't get a whole lot of them, but I do like the whole 2D style of like Super Metroid, which is a lot of fun. And I'm very excited to give this game a chance. I never really played Metroid Prime, or not Metroid, Metroid 2 on the Game Boy, but rest assured that this one will definitely live up. It looks a whole lot of fun with the whole graphical update and with the tight controls. Now, granted, I don't play a whole lot on my 3DS as I used to, so hopefully this will be the game that will make me pick it up again and play a whole lot of it. I'm definitely hoping to continue playing more on my 3DS because this game looks beautiful, it looks fun and challenging, and yeah, go Metroid, it's coming back. Now, if only we could do that for another franchise.
Number 7.
I'm not a huge person of the Sonic franchise. I've mentioned it a few times, and heck, I even put some Sonic stuff related in my top 10 list. Like, I love the whole Sonic theme from, not Sonic, the theme song for Sonic All-Stars Racing. I really find the history of Sonic Extreme on Sega Saturn very interesting, and I do like the character, but I'm not a huge fan of the games. Nothing against them, I don't like criticize them compared to other people, but I don't play a whole lot of them compared to much people, just because they don't really interest me as much. But the 2D games I do enjoy, and thankfully Sonic Mania is a 2D game, and it looks beautiful and stunning with the whole pixelated art, and it just looks like there's a whole lot of detail that they put within the visuals for the game with the 2D art style, trying to bring back the Sega Genesis era, and it looks a whole lot of fun. And Sonic Mania's music is beautiful, and I love it. In fact, actually there's one music track that I love from this game called Studiopolis, which I'm currently playing with this clip right now, and I love this music theme. It's so catchy and funky. Yes, I said funky, shut up. And it fits perfectly with the whole Sonic games, even though it's an original level and so forth. But I really love this. Is one of my favorite video game compositions, and keep in mind a lot of this is being made by an actual Sonic fan who started out as just making different Sonic compositions and remixes and so forth. So I really give them credit there, and it looks a lot of fun. And I've actually about a month ago I actually did pre-order the collector's edition for the Nintendo Switch, which includes a little statue of Sonic standing on the Sega Genesis, because it looks nice. And I don't really do collector's sets that much, only if the game really interests me, and this game really did interest me because it looks like a fun platformer, and it just looks stunning with the whole pixelated art style. They did so much detail of getting so much more animation and so forth, and yeah, it looks perfectly, so I'm excited for Sonic Mania.
Number 6.
Another 3DS title, but it's a game that I've never played. I don't play a whole lot of Mario RPGs. I mean, I love Super Mario RPG on Super Nintendo. That's one of my favorite Mario games ever. Paper Mario on the N64 is really good. I actually really enjoy Paper Mario Color Splash. I really do. I think that game deserves a lot more credit than credit's due. But when it comes to like the Mario and Luigi games, I don't really play a whole lot of them. The only one I really played from that type of series is Bowser's Inside Story, which I loved, but still that doesn't give me a fast say, oh, I love the Mario and Luigi series, because I only played one title and I rented it back in the day, so I don't really have that at the moment. I do plan on picking it up soon. And with my experience with like Super Mario or Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, I never played it. I don't own the original Game Boy Advance pack, but I'm really happy to see them remaking it for the Nintendo 3DS. It looks a lot of fun, and I've always been wanting to play this title because my good friend the Doctor from my Thomas Comedies crew, he loves this game so much, and it's very nostalgic to him. So whenever he mentioned that made me want to play the game even more, because I heard this game is great, it's fantastic, it's probably one of the best out of the Mario and Luigi series. And what's really cool about the 3DS version, it's going to include another game, I think, or another side story called Bowser's Minions, which will have like all the Goombas and Koopas and stuff trying to rescue Bowser, and I think that's really sweet. I think that'll be an interesting storyline. Then again, with Mario RPGs, they always go for good, funny dialogue and upbeat styles and just sort of interesting storylines that you wouldn't really see in the main platformer series. And I'm definitely excited to pick this game out and try out both Superstar Saga and the Bowser Minions. So yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Number 5.
Before I talk about this certain game, which you know it's gonna be Cuphead, I made jokes about it, but let's just talk about the Microsoft conference first. It wasn't like bad, but there's a certain word that I hate now, because it felt like they kept saying this word over and over and just enforcing this word into your face so much.
4K, 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 4K.
4K.
4K, 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 4K.
And yuck, I'm not a graphics person. I mean, yes, I would like my games to look nice, but I don't really care how deep and detailed they are. I just don't understand the hype of 4K, honestly. I got a regular 1080p HD TV and it looks fine, and honestly, I can't tell a difference with 4K, honestly. So I don't understand why so many people are hyped about it. Huh, I wonder who that could be. Oh, well, hi James. How you doing?
Hello, Delma. Are you making the switch to 4K gaming?
Well, first off, stop that, because you're making me laugh. And secondly, I won't be able to because my TV's not 4K, so I can't do it.
But you could buy a 4K TV though.
Oh, do you know how expensive that is? With the Xbox One X being like, what, 500 is it? That's like
It's just a minor little bit of money for the most advanced gaming.
close to $2,000.
Just a tiny little penny's worth.
Okay, you know what? I had enough about this. You've been going insane about this whole 4K since you got the PlayStation Pro and your 4K television. I can't tell a difference. Heck, I don't even think human eyes can see 4K. It's like, what, 2,000 something or other, so... No, I'm
But
sorry.
it's better than 1080p.
Dude, I gotta film the rest of this video, so...
But the 4K...
Okay, bye.
But the 4K... 4K!
Why are people bragging about better resolution? It looks fine 1080p. What the crap? Wait. Wait a second. Today's Friday, and Black Cross is... Oh, shoot.
4K. How dare you! Get over here! The 4K! The 4K!
Bottom line is, I'm not excited about 4K, so let's just skip it. And I still have yet to really pick up an Xbox One either, mainly because the game that I've been hyped about for a long time, Cuphead, has been delayed constantly. And yeah, I'm not against games being delayed. I'm not, because I understand they want to put time into the games, which is good. My biggest gripe is that if you delay a game and you have no information, none whatsoever for a whole year, and when you're hyped about it, your hype meter kind of drops a bit. So I am wanting to play it still, but I'm not as excited as I was back then, and it's a shame because this game is made for me. The 1930s Max Fleischner art style, the awesome Contra style platforming, and it just looks so challenging and fun. But with these delays, and it's a shame too because the first time I did E3 top 10 list, it was like my second pick, and then last year's it was my most hyped game, but that was because I was thinking it's gonna be still released in 2016, but with the fact they delayed it, there was a lack of news for it during the whole period. I'm not as excited as I was, and I guess that is one big downfall to delaying a game so much, is that your hype drops down. But hopefully, when I do pick up an Xbox One, just the one, no S, no X, because that's not gonna do any good for me, just a one, I'm hoping that this game will reach the expectations to even more, because this game looks so much fun. It has such a great personality, and the fact that they actually painstakingly did regular traditional animation for all the character sprites and so forth, it's just mind-blowing, and I'm really hoping that this game will prove me wrong that yes, it may have dropped my hype meter down because it was delayed so much and there was lack of new information, but as long as that game delivers to even better expectations, I'm definitely gonna stay the worthless rate. But yeah, I have yet to pick up an Xbox One, and I'm not gonna get a 4K console. I'm just gonna get original Xbox One. Although I am happy to hear that they're gonna add original Xbox games to the whole Xbox backwards compatibility program. That was pretty cool, I will say.
Number 4.
South Park: The Fractured Butthole is a game that has been delayed a whole lot, much like Cuphead. However, to be fair, I'm not really upset about delays because yes, basic Stick of Truth had that same dilemma. Plus, not to mention, Matt and Trey work on South Park yearly basis, and whenever they do, they have to make an episode in a week, which is insane to think about. And really, it surprises me with the amount of creative ideas they still get, regardless of the whole strict production timeline that they have with episodes. And as such, with these episodes being made every week whenever they do the whole season run, it gives their brains to thinking of what can we add from this season to the game. So that part I do understand. And thankfully this game does have a release date. Hopefully it'll stay. Please. I know that we've got season 21 coming up real shortly this year, but still, it looks a whole lot of fun because Stick of Truth is not only a fun game for people who love the show and getting all the references from the show's many years of work, but not to mention the fact that for an RPG, it's really fun. Yes, it's a turn-based RPG, but one thing that I love about the game is that it has some player input. It's much like Paper Mario and Mario RPG, where you have timed attacks where you can hit again or go for even a stronger hit. And I love that player input. That's one thing that keeps me interested more in those type of games than I do with regular turn-based, is that there's more input with the player, even though it's kind of like a quick time event trying to hit the just right moment to hit to get a stronger attack and stuff. And with the gameplay for this one, they've done so much to make it different and trying out some new stuff. And the game sounds like it'll be a lot hilarious, especially in the new trailer when Timmy was trying to mind read like Professor Xavier to Copman. It was great. So I'm very excited to see what Matt and Trey, the whole Ubisoft team, and etc. have in store with this title.
Number 3.
And speaking of Ubisoft, there was a game title that I was confused about for quite some time. Now rumors started popping up about a whole Mario plus Rabbids crossover game, and I'm usually open to ideas, but this one sounded so silly and so redonkulous. It sounds so redonkulous to me. I mean, like, I love Mario, but the Rabbids, not so much. I could never really get into them, honestly. I just thought they were kind of annoying in a way, even though they are Rabbids, but they're like rabbits put on crack. So I was thinking this was just one of those silly rumors that people was like, no, this can't happen. There's no way this can happen. And then when the promo image came up that was leaked onto the webs, my mind was like this. It just shut down. It's like, no, this is silly. This sounds so stupid that I was ready to just make a rant about it. But then when they finally showcased gameplay of it, I now want to play it. I mean, if you were to tell me that this was a game where Mario met with the Rabbids and they were going off to fight off different Rabbids that were taking forms of different Mario characters, and it was gonna be in like an XCOM 2 like gameplay, I would have just like, no, get out of the house. I don't want to talk to you anymore. No, just no. But like, it looks really fun. I mean, the combat itself looks enjoyable. It looks complicated, but it looks so simplistic, and visually the game looks beautiful. I think it just looks really good. Plus you got Grant Kirkhope composing the music for the game, which is really cool because I do admire him as a composer, and it just sounds so strange, the idea of Mario, Rabbids and stuff. Like, it's silly, but it works well, and the gameplay looks really fun and interesting, and I'm really excited to play this when it comes out late this August. And granted, whether or not this will make me appreciate Rabbids a bit more, I don't know, but I think it works out strangely. It's one of those type of games that you will think in a million years will never happen, unless it's like a DeviantArt fan post or so forth. But it looks like it can work. It really looks like it can work out. And heck, during the conference you could tell that they were really passionate about the game. The creative director, you're really excited to talk about, and had one of the I think senior director. Forgive me if I miscredited him. I apologize. But when they like talked about him and we saw the clip of him like crying and stuff, I knew from the get-go that they were really passionate about it. This isn't like some cash grab or anything like that. They were really passionate to try something new with one of the most beloved Nintendo franchises or video game franchises of all time, and one of their own franchises. Just the idea, and you could just see the passion, and I really hope this game does well. I really do, because over the years Nintendo has done some crossover stuff like Pokemon meets Tekken, Zelda and Fire Emblem meets Dynasty Warriors. Although one thing I liked about the presentation was just seeing Miyamoto upstage and him holding this awesome replica of like a weapon, and he looked just so much fun. And for one, I like how they give Miyamoto a weapon after 10 years with him holding the Hylian shield and the sword from Twilight Princess. But to just see Miyamoto just holding a weapon, I want that cannon. I would love that cannon, but still, I definitely hope this game succeeds, because I'm definitely excited to try it out, and it does make me wonder what other crossovers they can do. Hopefully they'll make sense, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Number 2.
There wasn't really a whole lot of big surprises or reveals from the Sony press conference in my opinion, but there was one surprise that caught me off guard that I was so happy about. Now, I may or may not have mentioned this in my past episodes that I've done. I don't think I really talked about it a whole lot, but I absolutely adore Shadow of Colossus. It has such a rich and deep atmosphere. The Colossi are huge, and it's like it's just so inspiring, and it's one of the big games that I think about when people ask if video games are art, because it's a beautiful game with a very interesting but yet subtle story, and I just love the game. And now we're getting a complete ground-up remake for PlayStation 4. And now I know that the game came out for PS3 when they did the remaster thing with Eco, but they didn't really do a whole lot in my opinion. And I'm just really more excited for this, because now we get to see the world in more detail, more vast. One of the things that kind of concerns me and some of my friends a bit is that the camera is a bit too close to the Wanderer, but I think that's just for like trailer purposes and so forth. But one thing I do wonder is that with this remake, that I would love to see something new aside from it just, remaking all the assets with all 16 Colossi. I would love to see them try out maybe add like 2 new Colossi. Like, there was gonna be a bunch more added, but couldn't due to like time constraints and the PlayStation 2 power. So I would love to see some of those rejected Colossi being brought back and added with this reimagining. I would love it. I doubt they'll do it though, but rest assured that I'm really hyped because I love this game. I wish sometimes I kind of beat myself up, which I'm trying not to, because over the past Marr Show episodes, there's been games and movies and so forth that I really love, that I would love to talk about on the show, but I couldn't because I was more focused with what I think would be popular or something like that. I'm not sure, but whenever this reimagining does come out next year, I'm wanting to talk about it because Shadow of Colossus is an amazing, beautiful game, and I'm really excited to try this PlayStation 4 reimagining because it just looks mind-blowing, and I'm just excited to play it again. Heck, I might just play it again now. I'm gonna go steal my brother's PS3 for a bit. But before we get to number 1, let's take a look at the runner-ups. These are the games that I am excited for, but not quite as excited that I would have put them on my top 10 list. So begin! Also, I just want to point out that this girl from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, she looks very similar to Vert from Hyperdimension Neptuna, and I hope that's the case because I like Vert. She's like one of my top 5 favorite Neptuna characters, so that would be really fun to see Vert make an appearance. Number one, you all know what it's gonna be. I don't even have to mention. You know what it's going to be because I love this franchise. It's one of my favorite franchises of all time. I've grew up with it ever since I was Flea or something. Whenever I picked up an N64 controller, it's a fun franchise, and I've been so eager about this game for so long. Or a type of game to be made like this, in the style. Super Mario Odyssey is the Mario game that I've been wanting to play for so long. Now granted, I love Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, I love 3D Land. 3D World I like, but not quite as much. Heck, I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't like Mario 64 or Sunshine. I've been wanting a huge open world Mario game ever since Galaxy because I thought Galaxy was fun, and when the Wii U was coming around, I was hoping we'd get an open world platform sandbox game. We didn't, unfortunately, and that's why I was kind of disappointed with 3D World. Even though it's a good game, I was still wanting a whole open world game. I wanted to see the creative worlds and ideas of seeing Mario open around in open world and so forth. And thankfully, Super Mario Odyssey is going to fill that gap. And the trailer they showed off just made me hyped even more for it. And the amount of new stuff they added to the game. In fact, honestly, Mario Odyssey is kind of like Breath of the Wild, where they're taking a franchise that we all know love and revamping it and putting so much new stuff and breaking the formula. I mean, granted, yes, Bowser Kid has Peach and etc., but I'm just really happy that they're putting so much new gameplay stuff. And granted, it's gonna be like Mario 64 and Sunshine, but the whole, I forgot what they call it, but like the character, like Mario going into another character and like swapping to being that character, like Mario can, when he throws his hat, he can like take control of like enemies and so forth, and it sounds weird and kind of dark if you really think about it, but it allows for so much gameplay possibilities. Being able to take control of a bullet bill, or as a tank, or as a human that's really tall, but it just looks so beautiful, it looks so much fun. And heck, with the fact that I was kind of surprised that it's coming out in October 27th. I was thinking of like a late November release date, and not to mention the game just looks stunning and beautiful and has so much personality and just stuff going around. And I love the fact that they put so much new stuff in this game, and I'm so hyped to play for it. Heck, I'm gonna probably just go put it on now, except I'm gonna need keys. I need keys for the car. Where's the keys for the car? But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey, the game that I'm really majorly hyped, it wasn't really announced at E3 because they showcased it way back earlier this year, but the stuff that they showcased for the game and all like the live streams and such about Mario exploring all the different kingdoms and stuff, it just made me even more excited for this game, and I'm hoping that this game delivers, because if it does, you know, it's gonna be really hard to say which is my favorite Mario game of all time, because I have so many, but this one looks to really break that mold and say this is gonna be the next big Mario game that people will talk about, that will be like Super Mario Galaxy, as one of the most innovative titles in the series. And I'm just really hoping that this game delivers, and I'm majorly hyped for it. And that's all the time we have for today, folks. So if you would like to leave your thoughts on all the games I commented, or the games that you're excited for that were announced at E3, just comment below. And keep in mind, these are just the games that I'm personally excited for. They're not like the absolute games I know which will sell well, break records, be nominated for Medal of Honor. These are just the games I'm really excited to play when they come out. And yeah, I'm just gonna go pre-order Mario Odyssey now. Oh no, flipping way, really? Thomas, go home! I don't care about 4K!
4K! Oh shit.
You're drunk, I don't know what you're on, but just go home and...
Yeah.
Okay, that's disgusting. I didn't want to see that. I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.